everybody. Thank you, Veterans Health Alliance, for having me to join you for your Wake Up Wellness. Uh, I am your coach, Coach Laverne, motivational speaker. Hopefully, information I'm giving you is helping you to navigate through these difficult times, and hopefully you're enjoying it. So today I'm going to touch a little bit more on food and nutrition. So last time we talked, I was pretty much focused on inflammation and how inflammation affects the body. So a little review. Inflammation is associated with a lot of different diseases, fibromyalgia, respiratory ailments, rheumatoid arthritis, cancer, heart disease, stroke, lupus. All of those diseases are associated with inflammation and more. So inflammation is the body's natural healing system to help fight injury and illness. But what it actually is an accumulation of white blood cells, phagocytes, and fluid, which create mucus in the body. Other causes of inflammation are unhealthy diet, lack of exercise, and too much stress. So those are the things that I spoke about the last time we were together. And I also talked about the foods that cause inflammation, because we're touching on nutrition right now. So the foods that cause inflammation are red meat, dairy products, white bread, white potatoes, white rice, refined flour type of foods. We talked about cheese, butter, saturated fats being one of the causes of inflammation, fried foods, white pasta, sugar, soda, candy, all of your bad sugars, and fruit juice. So today I want to talk a little bit more about macronutrients. I didn't have any coffee this morning. So macronutrients. So those are all the foods that were associated with inflammation. And we want to try to avoid eating those foods. But the things that we should be eating in order to nourish our bodies on a basic level are the things that I want to talk about today. So I want to talk about macronutrients. So when I say macronutrients, people think, oh, that sounds like such a weird, a foreign term. But the macronutrients are the ones that you really need on a daily basis in order to function properly. And those are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So a little bit about your requirements for carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. If you look at the basics for a sedentary person, a person that sits all day, that doesn't really have a seriously extreme fitness regimen, just a person operating on a daily normal basis, macronutrients. So 50% carbohydrates should be in your diet, 25% proteins, and 25% fats. That's what we should be eating. For a person that's not doing any heavy exercise, those are your basic requirements for macronutrients. So that equates to about 800 calories of carbohydrates, 400 calories of protein, and 400 calories of fats in your diet. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about each of those in a second. So I gave you the basics, right? You have the macros. But a lot of us are confused because there are so many different diets out there that you really don't know where to go. You want somebody to give you a CAM program to make it easy for you, but you really don't know where to go, okay? Which diet should you choose? Which one is the best one? So I'm going to do a little presentation for you. I did a presentation for someone, and it was called Exercise Adherence, you know, how to stick to your exercise program, how to stick to it. And I talked about different diets. And I went through diets through the whole alphabet from A to Z. There's a diet for every single letter of the alphabet. And I'm going to go ahead and go through that list with you because it's very interesting. It'll make you chuckle a little bit this morning, all right? So starting with the A, the Atkins diet. B, Beachbody diet. C, carbohydrate lovers diet. D, detox diet. E, energy booster diet. F, the fast metabolism diet. G, gluten-free diet. H, healthy living diet. I, insulin resistance diet. J, juice fast. K, the keto diet. L, the lemonade diet or the Beyonce diet. M, metabolic diet. N, Nutrisystem diet. O, organic food diet. P, the Pritkin diet. Q, the quick start diet. R, rapid release diet. S, sugar busters diet. T, 3-day diet. U, universal diet. V, vegan diet. W, Weight Watchers. X, extreme lean diet. Y, the yogic diet. Z, the zone diet. There's a diet for every single letter in the alphabet. So what the heck are you supposed to do, right? Everybody's probably so confused, and every time you turn around, there's another one that pops up. I'm sure that you can fill in the name of a diet for one of those that I just mentioned, for one of those letters that I just mentioned already. There are so many of them out there. There's just a wealth of information out there with regards to nutrition. So what I like to tell people is everything in moderation. So I told you what the macros were. So everything in moderation. You need 800 calories of carbohydrates to function properly, 400 calories of protein, and 400 calories of fats in order to function properly normally throughout the course of your day. All right. So how do we get those things? You're going to have to really look at them and choose foods wisely. I always say to choose nutrient dense foods, the ones that are going to give you the most nutritional benefit, the most bang for your buck, the ones that have the most vitamins and minerals and antioxidants, things in addition to the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats that you're eating. So let's talk about carbohydrates for a second. So generally, when you hear the word carbohydrates, you think about, oh, carbohydrates, those are the bad guys. Carbohydrates are the bad guys. That's what most people think, because when you think about carbohydrates, you're thinking about bread and pasta and potatoes and cookies and cakes and things like that. But carbohydrates are like the basic, nutrient that you must have for your body. So when you think about carbohydrates, think about things like fruit, vegetables. These are all carbohydrates, okay? Fruits, vegetables, oatmeal, whole grains. We talked about whole grains on Monday. I talked about the nice types of breads that you can substitute for white bread, the sprouted grain breads, the other whole grain breads that you find in the stores. Just read the label first. Make sure that the label does not say enriched or refined. As one of the first ingredients, okay, it should say whole wheat or whole grain fiber or something in the ingredients. If it says enriched, no, it's processed. And the most important part, the fibrous outer laying of the grain, has been removed from whatever whole grain, wheat, whatever it is that you're going to be consuming. So be careful about that. But carbohydrates, make sure that you focus. Sweet potatoes or yams are carbohydrates loaded with fiber. But I spoke yesterday about them and how you should prepare them. Don't junk them up with other things, with saturated fats and sugars, all right, to make them something other than what they are. Get the nutritional benefit of it, and that's it. So sweet potatoes, your leafy greens, carbohydrates, all right. I love collard greens and cabbage and those types of things. Try to bombard your diet with those things. First of all, you're going to be getting the nutritional benefits when you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, healthy, natural in their most natural form, fruits and vegetables, loaded with enzymes that help to break down food in the body, that help to metabolize everything in your body, loaded with enzymes. The more natural, the more close to nature that you can get them, the more benefit they're going to give you, the more bang for your buck you're going to get from them. So buy fresh. If you can, get frozen. So those are the best forms, okay, in order. So fresh first, frozen next, and last, canned. Dried fruit has too much sugar, too much concentrated sugar. So that's going to make your body react. Especially if you're a diabetic, that carbohydrate is just too much sugar all at once into your body. So stay away from the dried fruits. So that's it. Carbohydrates, berries, lots of berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, loaded with antioxidants, good for your body. You have to make sure that you really, really wash the strawberries well, because strawberries tend to hold a lot of pesticides. All of your berries, actually. You should really do a good job of washing them before you consume them. Especially in their fresh form, lots of pesticides there, unless you buy organic, okay, which is a little bit more expensive, but good for you. All right, so we're trying to get those 800 calories of carbohydrates. Protein, you need 400 calories of protein. So when I talk about protein, the first thing that comes to mind, okay, so why protein? Because protein is amino acids. That's the basic building building blocks of every cell in your body. Okay, amino acids are very important. Protein, if you have enough protein in your diet, you are gonna not be as hungry all the time. So if you get your regular protein requirements in, you're gonna find that you're gonna be satiated, you're gonna be satisfied. You're not gonna have a lot of hunger pangs if you're getting the good type of protein into your diet. And it also helps with with everything, with every system in your body. Protein is a basic requirement. Okay, you need it to keep your skin healthy, your nails healthy, all your body systems healthy. So protein is a very good thing. So protein. Um, I talked about red meat, and I don't want to harp on that too long because I don't want to see my name up as on the wanted poster for the one who says do not eat red meat. Okay, I don't want to be that person. Everything in moderation. So just be careful about your choices when you choose meat products because the hormones and the antibiotics that are used to keep the animal healthy are actually still in the meat when it's sold in the supermarket or the butchery. Okay, so be careful about that. If you can get grass-fed beef, antibiotic-free beef, that those types of things. If you can consume those are your best choices. Poultry, same thing. Your fish and your turkey. I'm sorry, your chicken and your turkey. If you read the labels, try to make sure that you get them um, antibiotic and hormone free. All right. So also fish, tuna fish. Tuna fish, a can of tuna fish, a 5-ounce can of tuna fish has 26 grams of protein, something like that. 26 grams of protein. And then, I said you need 400 calories of protein per day, but that's like, let me see, how many grams of protein per day? Okay, so for a woman, it's like 46 grams of protein per day that you need, and for a man, it's 56 grams of protein. So if you're a man and you're eating 2 cans of tuna fish a day, you're there. If you're a woman and you're eating 2 cans of tuna fish today, you're over your protein requirements for the day. Interesting, right? That's 25% of your nutrients for the day. 400 calories a day is what you need for protein. If you're eating 2 cans of tuna fish, you're over if you're a woman, a woman, a sedentary woman. Okay. So anyway, so that's a little bit about protein and more protein. So now let's talk about fats. And when I say fats, you say, oh, don't want to eat fat? Well, I'm talking about the good fat. Okay. So you're looking at things like nuts and seeds and nut butters without all of the sugar in them, um, avocados, olive oil, the good fats. Those things are the things that you should be consuming. Why fats? Fats help to prevent heart disease and stroke. The good fats, okay? They prevent abnormal heart rhythms, fight inflammation, lower blood pressure, prevent arteriosclerosis, and help keep you feeling full. Okay, so thereby helping you to lose weight. All right, so make sure you get those fats in your body. The fats also help with your brain function, believe it or not. Okay, so you need those good fats in your diet. The bad fats, saturated fats, butter, cheese. I talked a little bit about these yesterday. Okay, of course, fatty meats and so forth. You don't want to consume a lot of those things. All right. So carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. 50% of your diet needs to be carbohydrates. That's about 800 calories a day. 25% of your diet needs to be protein. That's 400 calories a day. And 25% of your diet needs to be fats. That's about 400 calories a day. So as I said, there are tons of different diet plans out there that you can look at. Not all of them are bad. It's just interesting about. I find it interesting that there are so many of them. There's one for every letter of the alphabet from A to Z. So the thing is that you're going to have to find something that works for you. So my advice to you is this: you're going to have to look at what is most important, which most people just miss out on, is portion control. Portion control is so important. I'm going to give you a little story about portion control. So I decided that I was going to get the measuring cups and do this one particular diet that required me to eat 5 meals a day, and so I had to do my meal prep. Okay, so I really believe in meal prep. So I got all my containers. I got all my measuring cups. The measurements for protein, the measurements for carbohydrates, the measurements for fats, all came in these little containers. I still have the containers. I still use them. Okay. So I'm doing my meal prep and like I'm making a big pot of brown rice, my carbohydrates, because I'm going to use this brown rice as my staple for my carbohydrate for this diet regimen that I'm on, right? So then it comes time for me to measure out my brown rice. So the instruction said the serving for brown rice is half a cup. So I said half a cup, okay. So I scoop out a half a cup of brown rice and I look at it and I say, wow, this doesn't really look like a lot of brown rice. Let me just pour it onto a plate to see actually what it looks like. So I took that half a cup of brown rice and I poured it out on the plate. And I looked at it and I said, oh my God, this is amazing because I was raised eating rice as a staple, white rice. And this little bit of brown rice on the plate right here equates to about 3 spoons of rice, right? So on a normal basis, as a person growing up, okay, I didn't know any better. This is what we were taught. This is how we were fed. Rice was a staple. The whole plate would have been basically rice. You know what I'm talking about. Most of you know what I'm talking about. So when I looked at a real serving of rice and I thought about what I typically ate as rice growing up, it was amazing. So I was generally eating maybe at least 5 servings of rice every time that I sat down to the dinner table. Okay, so a lot of you can identify with what it is that I'm saying. Don't try to act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, I know how most of us were raised. All right, so rice was a staple in our diet, but we were all of that carbohydrate, and we were probably most likely eating white rice or yellow rice. Okay, refined rice, with the most important fibrous outer layer of the grain removed. Okay, so you're eating mostly starch. Most of our lives we were raised on that. All right, and white potatoes, potato salad, and all of that kind of stuff. So you can identify with what it is that I'm saying. So we have been conditioned over the years to eat portions that far exceed the requirements for basic daily living. Okay, so portion control is very important. So just remember that when you're doing your diet, portion control. Half a cup of rice is an actual serving of rice. If you can do meal prep, do meal prep. All right. So I think I'm almost out of time. So let me just recap very quickly about the macronutrients. So it's 50% carbohydrates, 25% protein, 25% fat. Okay, so that's 800 calories of carbohydrates, 400 calories of protein, and 400 calories of fats in your diet. And just remember, carbohydrates are your friends. Okay, so think about berries and fresh vegetables and leafy vegetables and oatmeal and whole grains and that type of thing. Proteins, stay away from the fatty proteins. Look at your protein servings because you can very easily exceed that 400 calories or that 25% protein in your diet. And then fats, 25%. Think about fats, good fats, nuts, healthy oils, avocado. Avocado is the hot one right now. Okay, use avocado in everything. All right, and just be careful about the calories. That is all I have for you today. When I talk to you on Friday, I'll talk a little bit more about nutrition, and that's it. Have a good day, everybody.